table topic, a lot of impromptu situations. So table topic is the opportunity to practice impromptu speaking. So I'm going to give a couple questions to members, and yes, we'll have an opportunity if you want to participate too. I had this professor in college who brought history alive. It was his lecture for beguiling.
Want me to turn the lights on for you?
I was wondering
Sure,
if this person ever had a
I'll
teacher that sort of was beguiling and got him or her really interested in a certain subject. Jeff.
One teacher? Oh. I had an English teacher, I remember in college, who was indeed, he beguiled me into reading a lot of Shakespeare. And I developed a habit, which I haven't really ever stopped doing ever since. I keep going back to Shakespeare because I enjoy reading Shakespeare and especially performances. Every year at CLU, I go to see the Shakespeare outdoors. It's a great thing to see. And basically, she kindled a lifelong love of Shakespeare. So I have to thank her again. Thank her for that.
I've had very few teachers that I just really fear or loathe. Well, is there any teacher that you really feared? Sanford, do you ever have a teacher that you're really afraid of?
I feared my biology teacher because I hated cutting into frogs. However, I loved more teachers than I feared them. And one really influenced me was my history professors at school. And I took 3 different courses from the same teacher. And he was absolutely spectacular. He was also our basketball coach in junior college. So, but I really respected and loved the guy. Did I hate any of the teachers? No. I wasn't really that outspoken as a student when I was younger until I got older and could stand on my own. But nobody I hated or feared, just respected.
There were actually a few times in my life that I actually looked forward to the beginning of the next school semester. I was wondering if this individual has at any time where they really looked forward to the beginning of school. Joy.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. I always look forward to the beginning of the school. I was always excited. Probably 3 or 4 weeks before it started, I would begin getting excited. I always really did look forward to it. I have to admit that I also looked forward to summer vacation. By the end of the year, I was getting a little tired of school. Sometimes I was not happy with the way things were going. I didn't love all of my teachers. I had mostly good teachers. There were a few that weren't so good. Probably the worst teacher I ever had was Mr. Shotwell. In the 5th grade, I think it was. This was back before things got so restrictive about corporal punishment in schools. And Mr. Shotwell had a couple of big paddles, and he would periodically take one of the boys into the cloakroom and use that paddle. Sometimes he just shouted at the class. One day he had the paddle in his hand and he slammed it down on someone's desk so hard that it broke. I was not particularly fond of Mr. Shotwell, but I did like the majority of my teachers. I think my two favorites were Miss Larson, who I was fortunate to have in the first, second, and fourth grade, because I went to, in those grades, I went to a parochial school. There was a different teacher in the third grade, so I didn't like her, but Miss Larson was wonderful. And then there was Miss Ray in the 8th grade, who was my English teacher. I particularly liked her. But I always look forward to school starting.
When I was a senior in high school, the last week for seniors, there was a senior ditch where seniors would just took off, you just skip class. I wonder if this individual had a senior ditch day where you just sort of, and if this individual participated in that. Morgan.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Caltech is actually kind of famous for having a ditch day. It's a big campus event where all of the seniors from the 1,000 student undergrad body will devise interesting puzzles and tasks for the underclassmen to solve. I participated in 3 ditch day stacks. I remember the themes. Junior year was Friends because the TV show, because one of the seniors had managed to convince enough other seniors that Friends was a good enough concept to build a stack around. Sophomore year was Super Smash Brothers. And freshman year, I'm actually blanking on freshman year right now, I feel very embarrassed. Freshman year is like, yes, was Pixar and Disney movies. A lot of different stacks were Disney movie themed, so it felt a little bit generic to do the same kind of activities that other groups of students were doing. Unfortunately, I was a super senior, and I decided not to stack on my regular senior year. And in a super senior year, it felt too awkward to build a stack with people who weren't in my class. So one of my biggest regrets is that I didn't do a stack for everybody else like I should have. It would have been a lot of fun, but I couldn't find the time for it, and it felt too awkward.
Truth be told, I actually got in trouble in school in 7th grade and got called into the vice principal's office and threatened with suspension. I'm wondering if this individual ever got in trouble at school. Keep in mind, was sitting here, stays here, or knew somebody who did. Brennan. What kind of mischief were you up to in school?
Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, I was never the type to get in trouble. I was usually the goody two-shoe kid who, whenever his friends were doing something they shouldn't, be the first to insist, hey, you really shouldn't do that. My childhood nickname, actually, throughout my high school years was Nancy, because of it. One time, though, my friends actually convinced me to do something I shouldn't. I don't know what got into me. Maybe I just got sick and tired of being made fun of. It was after school. I don't remember what happened exactly that day, but for some reason I didn't go home as early as I normally would. I was hanging out with some friends, and we noticed that there was a couple of cases of milk that were being donated to shipped in. But I digress. So my friend said, "Hey, Brennan, I dare you to steal that." And as I said, I don't know what got into me, but I did hit it somewhere, and next thing I know, I left my backpack somewhere. Vice principal walked by and he's like, "Hey, Brennan, what's going on over here?" I said, "Hey, I don't know. Hey, do you see my backpack?" He's like, "I don't know. Did you see my milk?" The story never happened, and frankly, what's that word?
Beguile.
That. I'm doing that to you.
Casey, would you like to participate?
I'll give it a try.
Yay!
I struggle.
Yeah.
I struggled with certain classes. I struggled with foreign languages. Rabbi, you probably know I've lost cause with foreign languages. Is there any subject in school that you really struggled with? Or you can answer any of the other questions.
I'll answer that one. Thank you. I don't know the proper introduction. I actually struggled very, very hard with math. From the time I was in the first grade, I handled addition very well. When they started introducing subtraction, that's when they lost me. And I was a lost cause ever since. I took a test when I was a freshman in college, and it was determined that I actually have a learning disability when it comes to numbers and putting everything together in mathematical equations. So that was my struggle in school. Thank you.
Can we have a timer? So let's wrap up the questions.
Timer report. Our first guest requested.
She can come back.
And she ran a little bit over. She took 32 minutes. During table topics, Jeff took 45 seconds. Sandy took 1 minute. Joy took 1 minute 45 seconds. I took 1 minute 36 seconds. Brennan took 1 minute and 30 seconds. And our third guest took 40 seconds. Or I guess they took 40 seconds.
There should be voting slips at your school voting slips. Please take a moment and vote for the person you felt did the best job at table topics. Sanford will collect the ballots, and we can turn the meeting over to our.
Thank you. And for a very brief period of time, I'm going to be here because my next duty as your Toastmaster is to introduce our general evaluator, Mr. Jeff Reaver.
Now I'll call on the functionaries for their reports. Let me start with our counselor.
Thank you, Mr. Evaluator. Count is rather low. We did pretty well tonight. I did hear a so from Kathy, a few others from Rabbi and Michelle, who's been up there a long time. From Sanford, one from Morgan, and and a so from Brennan, and a couple of others.
I will deliver the grammarian's report. Rabbi Pascal said beguile 3 times that I counted. She takes the prize. I used it once, Alan used it once, and Brennan used it.
I used it once.
Oh, okay, Kathy used it also. The only word that really stuck out in my mind when I was listening today, I was really preoccupied with observing the show, was juxtaposition. I happen to like juxtaposition, and the rabbi used the word juxtaposition. So I commend her for that. Having said that, I am going to bring up I think he's not ready. I will bring up shortly our trophy master. Ah, yes. I'd like to call on our guests for their observations on our meeting. Stacy, what did you think of our meeting?
I found the meeting very interesting.
Okay, maybe you'll come back.
She get a membership packet?
That's up to our,
No, she did not. That's okay, thank you.
and Carol, what did you think?
Well, I think my daughter showed different aspects of Israel than usual, of just going from place to place. She gave you the ground and the background of the people and the culture. So it was a different presentation of Israel. It was not a religious interpretation at all. So I enjoyed it.
Thank you. And Brendan is sort of a guest, but sort of a member. I'm sure he enjoyed coming back.
Absolutely.
Now I'm going to introduce our trophy master.
After checking closely with Price Waterhouse by a long shot. Brendan, would you stand forward? It's worthwhile coming back. Best table topics and your trophy.
Here, let me take a picture.
But Jeff,
For our website. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Keep down.
Okay, it's almost our usual quitting time. I enjoyed this meeting. I hope all of you did. It's nice to see a few more people than we usually have here. We have certainly enough seats for more. Hopefully we can fill some of these seats. Do we have any observations on the floor, any business we need to discuss? I know one thing we need. Our treasurer, Kathy, has been collecting dues. If anyone has not yet paid for the coming term, can you please give her a check now? This would be fantastic. Any other notices? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to thank, like myself, for a wonderful presentation. Made a lot of our time in putting it together and presenting it. Really appreciate it.
We all appreciate it.
And I apologize, he was holding, I'm not blaming him, I saw that it was red, but it was sort of like this, so I wasn't 100% sure. So I apologize, I missed the yellow and the green, that's for sure, but I saw it like that, so I truly apologize.
From my point of view, the time went so fast, I can't believe it was 32 minutes. I thought maybe it was 22 minutes, maybe. Not 32.
I apologize.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you.
In that case, if there's nothing else, I will adjourn this meeting now, and there are still refreshments out there.